Hello, hello. This is Juice to Goose, and this is World of Warships Legends. We got Raizo Tanaka on the screen right now, and this is the build I'll be using for this game in the Kagero. The base trait Hull Crusher is very useful for getting big damage with your torpedoes. I'm running Subsurface Venture for a little more speed and a little less reload time. I'm running Fragile Threat, so max concealment, hell yeah. I'm running Torpedo Safari to get that sweet extra range, which on my build is in excess of 11 kilometers. I'm running Destroy or Be Destroyed, because I just want to be that extra little bit faster because I get outrun by Akazukis and that's embarrassing. And in the legendary slot, I am running Give Me Speed, because when you need it, it's really nice to have it. In the inspiration slots, as I'm limited for inspirations and do not have Bay nor Swirsky on the PlayStation, I'm running George Dewey for a little more torpedo detectability because I get torped at 2 kilometers a lot in this thing, and Von Spee for a little faster reload on the smoke. Just the inspirations that I have, and I like to use them. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. So we're just going to get right into it. We're starting this recording 30 seconds in because that's just what my PlayStation decided it wanted to record. And we are on Tears of the Cruiser. And I'm one of 2 destroyers in this match, and the only one on my team. The other destroyer is a Kagero, and most of the radar cruisers happen to be nowhere near me. So I'm going to do sneaky ninja boat destroyer things, and I'm going to sail into this cap and I'm going to attempt to take it. I have a sneaking suspicion the enemy Kagero is going to be over here, should the matchmaking be balanced in any sort of way. It's not too far of an assumption to hope for, but sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. You take what you can get. A Togo B and a Malfi spotted out in front of this cap, and that gives me high hopes that maybe one of these cruisers who is distracted by my division mates will take some torpedoes as I enter the cap. We've got Vegeta in the Azure Lane Baltimore, and we've got Miss Yamato in the Amagi behind me. And they are going to be instrumental in the absolute carry that we pull in this match, starting from our side and working our way across. So far, the torps look pretty good for the Atago, and he doesn't seem to have noticed them. They are pretty quick, so when he does notice them, he won't have a lot of time to avoid them. And he takes one right mid-ship, nearly 19,000 damage, and a flood. And I don't know what happened to him early on or if he just wasn't paying attention, but this Atago is going to flood for a hot minute. And my division mates are already lighting him up, and he's essentially on hard mode, so he survived this. This pesky plane has just spotted me, so I decide it's time to throw the smoke screen, and I yoink the kill with the flood for the first blood. GK is out there, just begging to be torped, and Amalfi takes a cheeky shot at me and manages to get a little bit of damage. But this is where I start doing the thing that most people in their Japanese torpedo boat destroyers won't do, and that's using ray guns. It's pretty often, and you'll see later on in this game, that I will use them in open water. But right now, I'm going to be sitting in the comfort of my smoke screen, because my division mates are able to pretty easily keep this Kagero and this Kerr first spotted for me. So, while I wait for the torpedoes to reload, I get the guns daka-daka-ing on the Kagero. Getting okay damage, got a fire, and that fire is going to help him stay spotted when that radar runs out. Just sitting here, taking a cap, shooting at a Kagero, doing what most Kageros wouldn't do. And as soon as I have this cap, that's when it's going to be time to get aggressive. So, take a look around me, and there's the Amalfi. My division mates are doing a pretty good job of shooting at him. I take a cheeky shot at him as well, because I've still got smoke for a little while, and would you look at that? Widespread torps from the Kagero. I mean, it's not a bad strategy. I have personally hit people with widespread torps, but he saw my guns shooting. If he really wanted to torp me in my smoke screen, he could have done a much better job than that. He's spotted again, running away. Amalfi is using his smoke screen, but it's just a little bit too late. My division mate in the Amagi absolutely claps some Amalfi cheeks. So I decide it's time to push up with my cruiser. This cap is ours. I'm going to try to get some torps off in this general direction and work my way back across the map. Just a quick look. There's still a Cleveland and a Chapiev out there somewhere, but they appear to be nowhere near me. I think they're over at A. So as I'm pushing up, the Baltimore only has a 27mm bow and gets torn apart through the front by a Kurfürst. And it is amazing to me how long Vegeta actually manages to stay alive with this Kurfürst directly in front of him. He takes down the Kagero, and it's time to start focusing the Kurfürst. Now, if you take a look at the mini-map, you'll see there's a battleship working his way over here. And there it is, an Amagi. So I'm thinking in my head, oh man, I'm gonna get some torps off on this Amagi. And to okay results, I suppose. Another set of torps from the Kagero. Gotta activate Eurobeat mode and not try to do anything funky and potato into them, because I have been known to do that. Very easily dodgeable torps that I have elected to not dodge because I am a potato. Baltimore's still firing. Amagi's coming around the corner. And it's at this point that I think, man, we've only got one cap. We're way ahead on points, but I'd like to keep it that way. So I'm going to push across here and work my way into B. Try to cap B and help out our, 1, 2 remaining ships on the other side. One of which is pretty content with staying at the map border and firing at the people north of A. Those torps look alright for the Amagi, so I don't concern myself with him much longer. I'm probably going to hit him with at least one of them. Just another look at the torps, and yeah, it's looking like I'm going to catch him with one right on the rear end of his ship, but lo and behold, he turns out just the slightest bit, and my torps run out of range. Kinda wish I was a gearing right now, that wouldn't have happened, but at the same time, if I was a gearing, I wouldn't be able to be a ninja later on in this match. My division mate in the Amagi has already circled the island that I'm going around now, on the south side, working towards B. I decide that maybe it's time to go get that cap now. I could have stayed and shot more torps, but there's the torp hit on the Amagi. It was bound to happen. He turned in. He thought he dodged both sets. You fool. So, gunning it for B. I know there's radar out there. I know there's still 2 battleships on my right, but I have a little bit of faith in my cruiser division mate and the Odin that's over there to clean them up. And I get a look at this Amagi and I think to myself, man, look at this beautiful shot. He still thinks I'm out there. He has no idea that I'm here. I'm going to get a crossfire with these torps. It's going to be perfect. So I launch those torps, and in about a minute we're going to see what happens to those. But at this point, my Amagi has pushed into the cap, and I am not too far after. So I start pushing in, taking another look at this Kurfürst, see if I got torp angles, for Chapiev, Kurfürst, and Kurfürst seems to be the one that's going to take one. So I spin my other side of my ship around, because this thing has okay torp angles, but they're not the best, and decide maybe this is a good spot to park for now. 25 seconds on the cap. I'm just going to hang out for a second. Get another look at what's going on around me, and torps for the Amagi. Are they good? And no dice. It appears to me that the Amagi has slowed down and missed my torps, which is unfortunate because I do have a habit of putting the torps behind the marker, because a lot of people slam on the brakes as soon as torps get spotted, but I don't know. I just kind of thought that Amagi would potato right into them. I had a little too little faith in him, per se, and he managed to avoid them all. But he's on very low health and won't avoid them for much longer. Check in on my torps on the Kurfürst, and Amagi goes down. So at this point, I'm just about to sail straight forward, and I look to my left, and I notice that Chapiev is 11 point some, can't even see the number, away from me. There's a torp hit on the Kurfürst, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting radared. There's no way he doesn't pop his radar right now. Kurfürst slammed on the brakes, as you do, and there's the radar from the Chapiev. It was only a matter of time, but joke's on the Chapiev, nobody can shoot me because I'm already dipping behind this island. So, you fool, you have wasted your radar. And I'm about to get another good torp shot on this GK. So as I push south around this island, still being a super sneaky ninja, finally disengaging from the radar, I take one shell, I think, from that Cleveland, and he, of course, breaks something. So that's when it's time to hit the damage con, take a cheeky shot at the Kurfürst, and go dark behind this island. Now, I have no idea what is going on in the mind of my division mate in the Amagi, but she decides it is time to take on 3 ships with 1 ship. Might have been going for the ram, who knows. Amagi versus Kerr first. I don't think Amagi's going to win that one. It's really a shame though. Amagi is a pretty strong ship. It's just sometimes you get in a tight spot and you start getting set on fire from one side and you're getting shot on the other side. We got a cheeky torpid on the Kerr first just now, and he damage cons our flood. I was really hoping I could flood him for a while, really hurt him, but he's got his damage con back already. So this is where I pull some last minute heroics. I think to myself, I've got a lot of hit points, I can't bring him with me. Might as well do a little trade with this Kerr first. Worst case scenario, he's got his guns on this side of his ship and he takes half my health. He's not going to dev me with 2 guns, there's no way. So, Leroy Jenkins, in we go with the torps. And he's doing absolutely the right thing to do if you're getting bum rushed by a destroyer. You just gotta bank on the destroyer not knowing how to torp. So, unfortunately for the Kerr first, I did. And I'm about to get my vengeance on him for killing my division mate in the Baltic. And that is only my 2nd kill, but we are at 100,000 damage. We've got 2 solo captures. And if you look at the minimap, you'll see where that Cleveland was last spotted. You just know he's waiting for me to push straight through that gap into the cap. Because you'd expect the right thing to do would be to go into the cap. Don't mind me just potatoing into an island. I'm not going to be stuck for long though. I'm pretty nimble in this ship. So Cleveland is very obviously waiting for me to come into A, so I elect to go around the north side of this island and start pooping torps at this point. So Cleveland figures it's been about long enough and he decides it's time to pop his radar. But where's the Cleveland? Is he going to shoot at me? Oh, that's right. Cleveland thinks that I'm about to pull into A. He has no idea that I'm over here. Kerr first gets an okay shot at me, but really doesn't do much. I'm a pretty small ship, and it's at the kind of range where you're not likely to get any good damage on a destroyer, but it's happened. I've gotten some pretty good destroyer snipes, but I was pretty confident that he wasn't going to hit me, and by the time the Cleveland's radar runs out, he won't get another shot. So, I'm spotted sailing away, I've gone dark, and I've got an Odin on my, at this point, left, but soon to be directly in front of me having a nice time fighting with the Cleveland. I put torps out for the Cleveland and start working my way, going wide, trying to get closer to the Odin, make sure that he's got the support he needs against this Cleveland in case he starts getting burned down. But at the same time, I'm going to be firing torps at the Cleveland, obviously, because I want damage. This game is pretty well already won. Me and this Odin could go down, and that other cruiser would just have to sail away. But, of course, you cannot bank on your teammates to do anything, so if you're in a situation like this, you're the last one alive, you're in a destroyer, you must pretty much expect to be the one that has to sail away to keep the points lead. So if it's a battleship, a cruiser, and a destroyer left, and you're the destroyer, sail away. If you're ahead on points, sail away. Just run away. As you can see, I'm not just sailing away, but I'm keeping my distance between me and this Cleveland. And I know Cleveland doesn't have a radar because he just used it. And he's not going to be thinking to radar me because he seems pretty occupied with the Odin, who's just hit him with a torpedo. My torps are out for the Cleveland, but I'm not going to get a chance to hit him with them because the Odin brings his guns around. And down goes the Cleveland. And then my timing was almost impeccable. It's at this point that I start to cry a little bit inside. I'm happy for the Odin. He got the Cleveland, but would you look at that? I would have torped him. Those torps were good. He would have potatoed right into them. And, of course, Odin goes down to the Kerr first because he was distracted with the Cleveland. Nothing wrong with focusing the right ship. It's just, in a 2v1 like that, you're probably going to go down. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, time to put on the carry pants. I need to sink this Kerr first. It's me and an Azuma against the Kerr first. We're ahead on points. I'm getting greedy for damage. I'm in a sneaky destroyer. I'm just going to start sailing straight at him. What's the worst that can happen? If I go down, there's not enough time left in this match for him to kill me and the destroyer. Probably. It's very likely that the cruiser goes down before me. I'm thinking in my head, did I say destroyer? This is my first commentary. Go easy on me, boys. So, I'm about to get this beautiful torp shot lined up on the Kerr first, and I'm saving the torps, and I'm looking at the time. I know it'll take 24 seconds for my torps to get to the Kerr first, and I'm looking at that little timer at the top of the map. because I want to hold these torps as long as I can, not until the last second, obviously. And I get a little too close to the Kerr first because he starts turning in towards me. Which, granted, he's probably got a pretty good idea where I am based on the fact that the cap hasn't flipped. But his guns start coming around, and you know what? I'm already spotted. 30 seconds left in the game. He can't kill us both. And there's the torp on the Kerr first. He gets a good hit on us in return, but it's not enough to kill me. Kerr first goes down. So we finished this game with 111,042 damage, 3,431 base XP, top of the leaderboard, 6 torps, 3 kills, couple fires, plenty of shell hits. All in all, a pretty good game. So, if you liked the video, you know, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you like the commentary, let me know in the comments. If you think it's trash, I'll just stick to memes. I just wanted to try something, and I had a good game to try it with. So, peace out, boys.